happy, well, it's Tuesday for you, but happy Monday. It's Monday. And I had an appointment earlier, and I just went to get my coffee. I got a cold brew today. I like the cold brew sometimes. It's very strong, but sometimes I'm in the mood for it. And it's like 86 outside, and it is an absolutely gorgeous day. Here, I'll show you. Early summer, Indiana. There we are, leaving the post office. And, so I went and got my cold brew with 2 Equal. And then I came to the post office and I got something, and I'm gonna show it when I get home because I got something from Tia the other day too, which I haven't even opened. I opened it and then I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna open this on camera because I was so excited about it. So the thing that I just got in the mail is so awesome. I opened it and I was so excited because it was this huge box, but I have no idea who sent it to me because there's no note in it. And it was from Amazon. So, and it's means so much to me. You guys will understand when I show it to you. But anyway, it's been a really good day. I finally finished my audiobook last night. The Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin Signs. And I had talked on here about how it was like really dragging for me. And it was beautiful at the end, absolutely beautiful. I mean, easily 5 stars, and it just was so good. It just was so good. And I love when authors weave the title into the book in a really magical kind of like meaningful way, and he so did, and it just was such a cool story. So anyway, and then I had said on my BookTube channel that I was gonna start reading The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and I wanted like to read it as like a read-along for the month of May. And so I started that on Audible, and like I'm like 45 minutes into it. I don't even want to get into what happens, but like it is, and the title of the book is like woven in right away. It's like right in like the first like probably 10 pages. And it's such a cool story, and it's narrated by the same person that narrated Colson Whitehead's Underground Railroad, which I think just won the Nobel Prize, or like the Pulitzer Prize for Literature. It won some huge major award. Not the Nobel Peace Prize. It won the Pulitzer Prize, I think. And if you haven't read Colson Whitehead's Underground Railroad, it's a must. And when I started reading it originally last summer, I just could not get into it. I was like, I listened to it on Audible, and I was like, this chick says, her thing says, but first, coffee. Her t-shirt says, but first, coffee. She probably works at Starbucks because she's like walking right over to Starbucks. Anyway, when I first started reading the Underground Railroad, I really couldn't get into it. And then like I only listened to like 20 minutes of it, and I actually did a buddy reads with this guy in Chicago, Adado at He Reads. So if you want to check out another male booktuber, He Reads is his name, and he's a very cool guy. He's super cute too, and he's straight, so for all you girls out there, go check him out. And I think he's single, actually. I don't know if he's single or not. We were supposed to meet up the last time that I was in Chicago, but it didn't happen. And we were gonna go to a bookstore and get coffee, because that's what you do when you're a booktuber. You like get together and have coffee and talk about books, right? We're gonna do a video too. But anyway, this is not a booktube video. This is my vlog, which is part of my life, so whatever. So anyway, I started The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and it is like the to-read book of 2017, if you haven't heard of it. And it's a young adult book, but I really think it's gonna transcend that. So the Colson Whitehead, The Underground Railroad first, let me say. That, it's a fictionalized account of a slave that leaves a plantation, that runs from a plantation. It is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. And just to show how very little we are educated, I think, on Black history in the United States. Like, I didn't even know what was true and false in the book, because Colson Whitehead fictionalizes a lot of things, because like when he was growing up, he has said this in interviews, he imagined the railroad to actually be an underground railroad, right? When he was growing up as a little kid. So in the book, he actually makes it an underground railroad. Now, I'm not an idiot, okay? But the way that it's written in the book, I was like, is this true? Like, did they really like, I mean, I know a lot about the Underground Railroad, but there were parts of this book that I was like, is this true? Like, did they really like travel underground from like house to house and stuff like that? So I proved my ignorance when I did a video and everybody told me I was an idiot. So anyway, but the book is phenomenal. To go read The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, and I will try to link it underneath this video. But the other book that is phenomenal is that I'm just started, besides The Inexplicable Logic of My Life. I love books that are like really fun reads, great reads, but also are written with intention. And so that book was great. The Inexplicable Logic of My Life is like all about grief, and it's phenomenal. And now I'm reading The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. And if you guys don't know anything about this book, it just came out this year. And it's about an African-American girl that lives in the projects, and she goes to an all-white prep school. And something happens at the beginning of the book that kind of divides her culturally, if that makes sense. It's a shooting, I can't really say. So anyway, I don't want to ruin the book for you. You guys should, I mean, it happens right at the beginning of the book, but it's like so pertinent to what is happening in our society today that you read it and it's so powerful. It's like, it's fiction, but it reads as nonfiction almost. And the main character, Star, is just so likable from the beginning. Like, just go get this book. It's just so good. And, I don't know. So that's my day so far today. I'm driving around listening to that. I'm getting ready to go home because I didn't put up any videos yesterday. It was interesting that, like, nobody noticed that. Like, I put up my vlog and that was it. And it was kind of a conscious decision. We were sitting at lunch and I was going to rush home and make all these videos or go to my office. And I thought, you know, I just want to spend the day with my husband. And I love making videos. It has nothing to do with that. But I just wanted to, like, regroup. And I'm going to tell you what came out of it was really interesting. So I was like, I'm just going to take the day and spend it with Alex and nap, go to my meeting. I went to Tanya's last night. If you watch my vlog, you know, like, and I ended up, after I turned off the vlog, we sat out there and just, like, talked for like 2 hours. She's like, I need to quit smoking. I'm like, I've talked on here, like, I smoke, you know, once in a while, but she's like, I need to have a quit day. I was like, So anyway, we sat out there for like 2 hours. It was like, finally she was like, oh my God, it's almost like 2 o'clock. And I was like, I know I need to leave. So I left, and then I listened to the end of my audiobook, and then I went home and I went to bed. And, what was I saying about that? It was just, I had such a relaxing day yesterday, and she even said to me, she was like, you seem so calm today. I was like, I feel so calm. I've had such a great day. And after I listened to my audiobook, I was kind of like, just like driving home, because I had like driven way out, and then it like just ended, and I like started The Hate You Give, and I was like, I don't want to start a book today and get 10 minutes into it, because then I'll forget what I heard. So I like was just like total silence in my car, because I drive a lot with total silence. And I was thinking, and I was like, you know, I just came up on this year on YouTube, and I was like, what do I want to do in the next year? Like, I've talked so much about my weight, so it's time for me to do something about my weight and get healthy. Like, it's time for me to stop talking about it and put some action behind it. You know, it's time for me to actually sit down and finish my book. I'm like only 14 books into my year challenge of reading 100 books. I'm like, I need to consciously every day sit down, because I love to read, but I get so distracted. I actually just did a video on my main channel ranting about that fidget spinner. I'm so ADD that, like, I start something and then I'm like, oh, then I need to clean the kitchen. Oh, the dishes need to be undone. Oh, I need to do laundry. I'm like so ADD that, like, I'm so easily distracted, you know? And, so I was really thinking about, like, what goals I want to set for the next year. Like, I'm big on that, you know, and I usually do it on my birthday, or I usually do it on, you know, New Year's, but, like, I think having it just been the 1 year of my anniversary on YouTube, like, I'm documenting my life, like, maybe this is the best platform to do it on, like, maybe, because I'm not going to stop my vlog in January, so if you enjoy this so far, baby, this is going to be until I can't do it anymore, until YouTube closes down or something happens. I just won't be stopped. I love this. I love daily vlogging, and you know, I really I was encouraging Tanner Kearns the other day. I was like, I wish you would, he's like, who has time for that? And I was like, you just film yourself like throughout the day and then put up the pieces. That takes 5 minutes. I like, it uploads while I'm gone, and then I piece it together. Is it the most editorially beautiful piece? No. But for me, I like just to watch people's lives, you know? I like watching my life back later and seeing the things that were important to me. So I don't really care how editorially perfect it is. It's just I mean, I think sometimes the beauty is in not the editing, if that makes sense, of other videos that I see. So I'm not stopping this anytime soon, and so I thought, well, maybe if I could do like, you know, a video and say like a year from now, where will I be, you know? I want to work on my weight. I want to have all my debt paid off a year from now. Not my house, but like, you know, the rest of my debt. I want to have manageable, I mean, I have manageable debt now, but you know what I mean? Like, I want no credit card debt. I'd like to have my car paid off. Things like that. And then get myself healthy and be in the best way that I've ever been in, best health. Have another book completed, so have 3 books finished completely in a year. 1 published and 1 almost being published. That would be 3 total published books. So was that 4 goals? Yeah, and just have continued to fall in love with this passion of doing YouTube. So that's where I'd like to be a year from now. Where would you guys like to be a year from now? Think about that. Write it down. Put it in an envelope, not to be open for a year, and then we'll see where you're at a year from now. Okay? Bye. Just been filming videos with my new fan. Okay, well, I don't have any of my lights on or anything. I just wanted to go through and show you guys 2 things I had gotten at the post office. This box came from Amazon Prime. There is no note in it, you guys. I'm so sad. I don't know who sent this to me because it is so fantastic. When you guys see it, you'll die. Okay. No, Boo Radley, we don't need to cry. So my mother said before she passed away, if she ever came back, she would come back as a cardinal, okay? Which is the state bird of Indiana, and there's tons of cardinals here. But I could not believe when I opened this. This is so cool. It says, and it's like gloss, so I can put it behind me. So it says, when you believe beyond what your eyes can see, signs from heaven show up to remind you, love never dies. I mean, you guys, I literally started crying at the post office today when I opened this. Is that not so amazing? I love it. So whoever you are that sent that to me, will you send me a message and let me know? I want to give you a proper thanks. That was fantastic. I can't even believe it. I'm like getting so many things like this now, I don't know where to put them. So I'm gonna have to find a place to put them. But the next thing, which I've gotten Snapchats about and all kinds of things, and I was really excited, was from Tia. And Tia is like amazing, always so supportive of me, always in my YouNow streams and everything, and I love her so much. So, hi Tia! Your box came, Tia! To my favorite candle review company. Hi Peter, I hope you, Alex, PP, Tucker, and Boo Radley are all having a great day. Your videos always make my day. Your vlogs are quickly becoming my favorite because of how real and open you are. Especially the ones about your mom because I relate to them so much. I hope you enjoy some of the gifts I have sent. Love you, Tia. Woof woof. Aww. You guys want to see what she gave me? Oh my god. Well, first, I've been talking a lot about masks on here. She sent me this this facial mask called After Party, which I can't smell, but I'm super excited about using that. And then she sent me these, what do you call them? Band-Aids. Add insult to injury, literally. And they're really cute, you guys. I opened them already. And so they say things like dipshit, dumbass, moron, idiot. Oh, do you see those? How cute are those? I love them. So these are adorable. And since I'm always like getting blisters and stuff, these are absolutely perfect. And then I cannot believe this. She got me a $15 gift card for Starbucks, which, I mean, you guys know I go through Starbucks 50,000 times a week. So Tia, you didn't have to do that. That was amazing. Okay, so the next thing, I have not opened the last 3 things, is, oh my God, she got me a pack of Post-it notes because I am addicted to Post-it notes. I love them so much. And I just, like, this is so funny because I just had the yellow ones and I just ran out and I almost was gonna go and buy some today. And then Academy of Color Silky Lips, Silky Lip Balms. Let's try one right now, shall we? Pee-Pee, what's your favorite color? Oh, these really truly are colored, do you see? I think I'm being pulled towards the orange. Let's pull the orange out. Silky Lip, okay, this is called, it's just orange. Oh my God. Oh, these are so nice. These remind me, oh my God, is it like truly colored though? Are they colored? Not really. Kind of maybe? I don't know. It's like totally like lipstick. I don't even give a shit. They remind me totally of, no, because some of them are in here are white. The apple is white. They remind me of the baby lips. They do look orange though on camera, don't they? Fuck it. I love them. I love them so. I've never seen these. I've never seen these before. These are so cool. Thank you, Tia. She got them at Kohl's. Thank you, dear. Let's see the last thing. They remind me of the ones that Teresa gave me, those baby lips. God, what is all this? Oh my God! Pee-Pee's crying. He's like, what is it? She got me a bunch of those candle waxes, you guys. Oh my God, and these are so cool. I've never seen these before. She got me gray. Oh, they're like, no, they're like little candles. Oh my God, these are so great. Fresh baked bread. Oh my God, that does smell like fresh baked bread. I love that. Rainy Day. Oh, they're wax potpourri melts from Kringle Candle Company. These are melts. Yeah, these are 4 of the melts. Those are that's really nice. Rainy Day. It smells kind of like cotton. Okay, Lumberjack. I'm excited about this one. I actually wish I could find this in a beard oil. This is like very, very masculine. I really like this. Like I would burn this in my house all the time. I don't know how to explain it. It kind of smells like a mix between like something very woodsy and like sandalwood, if that makes sense. And then Spa Day. These are all by Kringle Candle Company. Oh, that smells really good. That smells kind of like cucumber-ish. Very nice. And then Comfy Sweater. These are wax melts too. Oh, I really like that one. That's like cottony too. Alex will really like the cottony ones. So, Tia, that was wonderful. And whoever gave me this beautiful painting, I can't even believe it. You guys are so nice to me. You guys are so good to me. I have like a whole spa day already over here. I can put bandages on my feet and light candles and do facial masks and do my lips. I'm all ready. So, I'm getting ready to eat my Jimmy John's. Thank you guys, that was fantastic. I'm getting ready to eat my Jimmy John's and take down all the lights and camera stuff because Alex likes it down when he comes home. And that's it. So yeah, so I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye! Hello! How are we doing? We're doing good. We're doing fine. I was just talking to Dustin Daly. We were talking about different funny ideas for videos. It's kind of fun to come up with funny ideas for videos. Get my creative juices flowing. I'm so hungry. Alex came home and he had eaten like a late lunch. So I had gotten Jimmy John's and he was like, do you want to get something to eat? And I was like, I could be talked out of Jimmy John's. I think I may have already vlogged about this. And he was like, well, just eat your Jimmy John's and I'll eat what I have at the house. Because he went to Costco and bought like all these granola bars and stuff, so he was eating those. And we sat and we watched RuPaul's Drag Race, and then we watched Untucked. And then he watched Jane the Virgin, and I did my live stream. I missed being on live stream. It was really fun tonight. So for all of you that were there, thank you for joining me. It was fun. I wanted to like talk about something that was an interesting comment that I received on my video, because I think like, and people were really defensive of me, which was very nice, thank you, but like I said, I'm really open to criticism on my videos, but you know, it's interesting because I'm reading Lily Singh, who's Superwoman. I'm reading her book, How to Be a Boss, and one of the chapters in there, she shares about keeping like things secret, like don't tell too much about yourself, which is interesting because then she talks about being uncomfortable and being vulnerable is the way to grow. And I'm like, the book is great. Like I love the book. I have to be honest with you, I'm not really into YouTuber books. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like it's almost like I know too much about their lives from watching them on YouTube. So then when I read their books, like I just can't get into it. Does that make sense? And most of them you can tell like were written by other people. Like Shane Dawson's, you can tell Shane wrote his books. Like you can just tell. Tyler Oakley's Psychobabble, you can tell Tyler wrote his book. I do want to read Hannah Hart's book, but this one is like, I'm assuming that she wrote it. You can't really tell. It's more of a self-help book, and it's more of like how to be confident in life. I think it's a great book. I actually think it would be a really, really good book to read in college. So if you have a child in college or you're in college, go get this book, How to Be a Boss by Lily Singh. And I got it at Half Price Books, but they also have it at Barnes & Noble, I saw, and you can get it online as well, and probably Audible and everywhere else. And Boss is spelled B-A-W-S-E, because I think she came out with a lipstick called that. But anyway, I was thinking about it because I was like, well, do I share too much of myself in my videos, especially my vlog? Like, do I talk too much about myself? And, you know, it's interesting because, like, I think a lot of these YouTubers, like, script their videos and really think about, like, you know, what they're doing. And, like, I just love sitting down and filming and having it be ad-lib. It's very, like, Second City comedy to me back in the day. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, where they just kind of, like, ad-lib and come up with it. I mean, there is, like, something that is so fun to me about, like, I feel like I'm literally interacting with you guys with the camera on. I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but that's truly, truly how I feel. Like, I'm interacting with you and the camera's on. And, like, I don't, like, if I started scripting it and being like, well, I'm not going to talk about this, or I'm not going to talk about that, then, like, I feel like it wouldn't be real. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't feel like it would be very real. So I don't want to do that. Like, I want it to be real, and I want to share parts of my life. And, you know, one of the things I've shared a lot about is my marriage and us working on our marriage and improving our marriage. And I probably would stop talking about it because things are really great right now, except for the fact that we actually have marriage counseling tomorrow night. Except for that, so many people are messaging me. I mean, I can't even tell you guys, I trim my beard, and I, like, always forget to trim these parts right here. And then they get real long and they go on my nose, and they drive me crazy. If you have a husband or you have a beard or whatever, you probably know what I'm talking about. But anyway, like, I get so many messages from people that say, thank you for talking about your marriage. Thank you for talking about your relationship. It makes me feel so normal, or it makes me feel like my problems aren't that big of a deal, or that I can work through it, or thank you because I went through similar things and we got divorced and I wish we had worked on it, and now I know what to do, and, you know, when I get into another relationship. So many people are, like, really reaching out to me specifically about that one issue that I'm like, I have to talk about it. Like, I have to. Like, if, you know, if I'm helping anybody, I have to talk about it. I just do. And so, I will. But somebody commented on my video the other night, and I'm not mad about it, and I'm not calling you out. Like, it was, I thought the comment was appropriate. I thought maybe the tone was not. I think, you know, a lot of times it's not what we say, it's how we deliver the message. I think that would just be maybe something that people would want to think about in life, you know? And I have definitely learned that through the years, that I used to say things and I would always say, well, I'm honest, I'm direct. But I realized over time that maybe pure direct honesty is not necessarily how people always hear things, you know? Like, if somebody says to me, do you like my dress? And I think the dress looks absolutely horrid. You know, I think it's okay to say, you know, girl, like, I love the dress. I think maybe it's not for you. You know, like, what I do love you in is this. Like, I love when you wear those things, you know? Does that comment still hurt that person? I mean, yeah, if they're super sensitive, but then I think in the future they go, well, Peter really likes me when I wear pantsuits. He doesn't necessarily like me when I wear this dress, you know? And other people have said the same thing. So I think that criticism and critiquing somebody, especially not when you're talking about like maybe a dress, but when you're talking about their marriage, I think it's interesting in how you relay that message. That would just be my 2 cents, you know, is, you know, be kind with your words sometimes. And I can tell you that, like, literally, I say this all the time. 95% of the comments, 98% of the comments on this channel are always very, very nice. There's always that one or two comments on there that I'm just kind of a little like, And the thing is that if I'm having like today I had an amazing day, and, you know, sexting with my husband and, you know, watching RuPaul's Drag Race and laying in bed and talking to him, and we're just very connected right now. So, like, those comments don't really bother me, although it got me thinking about an important part of something that we're working on. But, like, if I was not having a good day and I was questioning the marriage, and I'm not telling people not to comment, I'm just saying that, like, it's the delivery sometimes, you know, that I'd be like, wow, like, is that show on camera? Or, you know, I'm like, is it really true? You know, like that. And so the comment that was made was that Alex probably gets so bored sitting, I don't remember the direct comment, so I'm just paraphrasing, probably gets so bored just sitting around with me in my boring life, and I will never go out with his friends, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, and that I need to be going out with his friends, basically, because poor Alex has this horrific life, okay? Well, the truth of the nature is that Alex works about 60 hours a week. So you don't see this because I'm like going to get fountain pops with Tanya because he's like, please just let me watch 3 hours of TV and you know, decompress, or, you know, whatever. It's not like he goes out all the time, but there's a lot of things, like, and this has been a big discussion we've had over the last couple years. I'm 44 years old, he's 32, and there is a difference between ages, you know? I'm not gonna try to keep up with Alex going out with 22-year-old pacemates to college bars in downtown Indianapolis. I'm just not. And, you know, if that makes me boring and that makes me not appropriate to be with my husband, well, that's not necessarily the case, because we've talked about that. There's a difference between that and the thing that Alex does want me to do is when we go out with, like, other couples. Like, he wants to do more, like, dinners with other couples outside of just, like, Jason and Melissa. And, you know, like, or if, like, somebody has a birthday party, like, I've gotten very comfortable because of my social anxiety. I used to always do that stuff, and I would be so, like, nervous and anxious that, like, I would ruin his good time and everybody else's, because they would just be like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? And I'd be like, nothing's wrong, I'm fine. Why aren't you smiling? I'm smiling. What's wrong, what's wrong? I mean, it just, if you have social anxiety, you know what I'm talking about, okay? It is enough to put on a mask and walk through the door and be like, hi, how are you, right? But then to have 15 people ask you what's wrong is like, it pushes you over the edge. So when you start saying no, it becomes a repetitive behavior where you start getting caught in just always saying no. And that's not fair to my husband. And so what happened was, you know, bridal showers, baby showers, couples, birthday parties, things like that, I just stopped going. And that's a huge part of our marriage. And that I do take a lot of responsibility on. And I do think in the last, you know, like, I went to his friend Kayla's singing competition, and I went to and stayed out the whole night with him. I went to Aaron's bridal shower, which I showed on here, and stayed out the whole night and danced more than he did, you know. And so I am doing those things, and I'm trying. It's not going to happen overnight, and that's one of the issues that I'm talking about in my counseling sessions. This is my social anxiety, because I've created this world that's very, very safe for myself, where I go to Meijer late at night, or I drive around and I listen to audiobooks and whatever, but like, so, you know, he's asked me to do that, and Tanya has also said to me, you need to suit up and show up and be that person with your husband, and I know that, but it's scary to me, and I don't even know how to explain it to you. If you have social anxiety, you're out there and you're nodding and you're going, yes, I totally relate to you, I totally relate to you. If you don't, you have no idea. Like, so Erin every year has a big Halloween party, and she always invites us, and Alex always goes, and I always say no, and I just don't go. Well, last year I was talking to Melissa about it, and she was like, sweetie, why don't you just come? You'll have fun, even if you just come for a half an hour. Because see, she doesn't understand the social anxiety. She doesn't understand that the first 5 minutes is what the hardest is, right? Walking through the door. And so I was trying to explain it to her, and she was like, but you would have a good time and this, blah, 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 whatever. When I know that, like, maybe I would, but there's so many people there that I don't know. And so I said, well, let me talk to Erin. And so when I talked to Erin, I was like, well, she ended up not even having the party this year. But I was like, well, what time does it start? 8 o'clock. What time will it go to? Oh, I mean, until people leave, 2 or 3. So then I'm like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So, you know, 8 hours that I have to deal with this party. And then I'm like, well, who's coming? And she's like, well, you know, Melissa and Jason will be there, and so-and-so and so-and-so, and you and Alex. And I'm like, okay, so out of, how many people did you invite? 40? So out of 40 people, I'm going to know 6. And then I'm like, I start getting kind of panicky, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm not going to know anybody there, and what will people think? And, you know, like, I get uncomfortable. And so then, like, I start feeling like it'd just be easier just to say no, because I'll get there and I'll just act weird, and then people will be like, well, you're acting weird, or what's wrong? And so I just don't go. And what's happened is that over the last 5 years, I've just said no to everything, and I'm missing out on life, you know? Because I don't want to be that person. So it's not that I don't want to go out with my husband and his girlfriends. I don't want to stand in a college bar till 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it, you know? I mean, sorry. I'm not going to make excuses for it. And he doesn't care that I don't go to things like that, you know, because honest to God, Alex wants to stand there and, you know, have a drink or do a round of shots with his girlfriends, and he knows I'm not about all that. So, like, he has more fun when he does that, and then he can Uber home. But, like, to do the other stuff, like, he does want me there, you know, and we've talked a lot about it together and in counseling, and he's been very patient with me recently, and so I'm slowly trying to do things. That's like why with Kayla's thing, you know, that Jason and Melissa went, he invited them because he knew that would make me feel comfortable, and then, like, I invited Tanya, and so, you know, and I don't want you guys to think that, like, I can't walk in anywhere. It's not like that at all, and I'm very good about putting a mask on. And it's interesting because I always, like, as like a public speaker, like going into like leadership things and whatever, like I always ask very pointed questions. And one of the things I usually tell them is, I said I do have some social anxiety, and I don't really know how I'll be that morning, but usually once I get warmed up for 5 or 10 minutes, and I always do introduction exercises so that I feel very comfortable with the people that I'm with, and that they feel very comfortable with me. And people always say this to me when they first meet me. They're like, there's no way you have social anxiety. They're like, you are so outgoing. And I'm like, okay, but you're in my office. It's my territory, and I feel very safe here. It'd be like if you came into my house, I would feel totally comfortable with you being there, right? But if I came into your house, I'd be quiet and put my head down. Like, it's strange, you guys, and I'm starting to realize, looking back, it's something that I've had my whole life. You know, I think today, if I was in high school, I would be so diagnosed with so many things. Like, I think I probably would definitely be diagnosed ADHD. I think I probably would be diagnosed with some form of, like, Asperger's, because they diagnose a lot of people with Asperger's today. But I just don't do well with social settings, you know? And I don't want to be highly medicated, because those are things I think I can work through, and I think the more comfortable I get in social settings, I never even thought I would talk this long about this tonight, but the more comfortable I get in social settings, the better it is for me, and then I can go and do those things. And the reality is this. People struggle to believe it with me because I can walk into like a dinner or a restaurant or a party or whatever. Parties are really hard for me with like 100 people or 50 people. I mean, it's really hard for me. Or like an event is really hard for me. And Alex is so helpful because he's just somebody that like kind of shines in the spotlight, and he's very extroverted. So like I can just kind of sit there for a second until I get comfortable and like be with him. He's very good for me and always takes my hand and always makes me feel very comfortable places. And never leaves my side unless he's like, hey, do you care if I go dancing? And I'm like, no, go. But like if I walk into like a restaurant or whatever, I'm always like, hey, how are you? It's so good to see you. And you know, like, hey, what's new? And like that's kind of like my tactic to get comfortable with somebody, you know? So people don't typically pick up on the fact that I am that way. But you know, the reality is that like I'm a writer. I work a career where I don't see a lot of people. Like, it's not like I work in a place where I go in and see tons of people every day. I live pretty isolated. I'm with my dogs, you know, and then my husband in the evening, and it becomes safe after a while. And I don't know that I think that's necessarily healthy. So what I would say to the comment that I received is, you're absolutely 100% right. I need to be going and doing things with my husband. But the delivery on how it was said was maybe not the nicest, because I think sometimes people don't really understand things. And my social anxiety is very, very real. And until 5 or 6 years ago, when I actually knew that there was a word to put to it, I didn't understand it. All I knew was that when I went into, you guys, I cannot go to like a movie theater on a Friday night. Like I do not like it. There are all kinds of animals running across the road. I do not like going to like amusement parks. They make me very nervous. One of the things that Alex has asked me to do this year, although his brother just came home, and it's something that he and his brother usually do together, so if they want to do it together, I'm going to let them go do it, because he asked me to go to the snake pit at the race, and they always have like 3 or 4 DJs, and it doesn't, like a music festival is big enough that I can walk around and have a great time, but this is like an area that's like boxed in, and when I'm there, like the last, I only did it once, and the average age was about 20, 22, and everybody was wasted or fucked up, and I just felt like I was there all alone, except for with Alex, and it just was, it was too much for me, you know, and the aftermath of that is that typically when there's a situation like that where I get very nervous, I like don't want to do anything then for a while, so yeah. And what's really interesting is that, like, when I was with my ex, I was very confident in situations. I don't know that I had a lot of this social anxiety, but he did. And then when I got with Alex, like right before I met Alex, if you ask Alex, like, what were the things that he loved about me on the first date, he would tell you, Peter was totally confident. Like, Peter was so sure of himself. Like, he did not, and I'm like, I have that in me, but like with him, like, I lean on him a lot, and I think that's unfair to him, and like that's actually something that we're working on in counseling, is him not needing to him not feeling like he needs to take care of me emotionally, like that I can just take care of myself. And but it's been hard, you know. It's like, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about out there. Like, it's like when your world gets smaller and smaller and smaller, you start feeling safer in your own little area, and it's like even Caroline today, when she called me and she was like, well, just come over right now. And I was like, who's over there? And she's like, well, nobody's over here. It's just me. But like, if she had said, oh, the so-and-sos are over here, or oh, so-and-so's over here, I would have been like, I'll just come tomorrow. Like, because I just don't want to have to deal with that interaction. It makes me nervous. You know, oh, what have you been up to? How's this? Whatever. I look bad. I look fat. I look this. All those thoughts go through my head, you know? All those negative thoughts go through my head that I have to kind of like take away one at a time. I don't talk much about that on here. I don't know. Maybe you guys just have a hard time believing it, or you've never seen it before. But the reason I'm talking about it is I know there's one person watching this right now that suffers from social anxiety as bad as I do, and I know that that person really understands what I'm saying right now, and I want you to know that you can get through it. I am working through it slowly. I make myself get out. I make myself go do things, and on the tail end of it, what I realize is I always am happy that I went and did it, you know? Whenever, like Alex the other night, he like planned this date. Okay, so here's the deal. In marriage counseling, we're doing date nights, and so like he's telling us to do date nights, but here's the deal. Alex plans the date night, and I have to do whatever he plans. I plan the date night, and he has to do whatever I plan, right? So Alex likes to go and try lots of new restaurants downtown. I would rather go to a restaurant that we've been to 400 times. I'm just very comfortable with that. I know what I want, what's on the menu, whatever. So Alex is like, well, we're going to Livery. I'm gonna pick you up at 7 o'clock, be dressed cute, and we're gonna go on a real date. It'll be really nice, right? I was like, okay. But really how I felt inside was, oh my God, I've never been to Livery. I don't know anything about it. Who's gonna be there? Who, you know, will people be there that I used to know? Will they think I've put on 60 pounds? You know, will they be like, oh my God, look at him, he's so fat? You know, like, well, I have to have conversations with people I don't know, you know, on and on and on. And I get very nervous. And I just sat down and, you know, just kind of like calmed my ass down and said to myself, you are going to have a wonderful day with your husband. And you know what? I had a wonderful day with my husband. The restaurant was so fun. We walked around downtown. We had such a great night. It just was so good, you know? And I stand in front of that. You know, I stand in front of allowing myself to work through that. And it's actually funny because Lily Singh in her book, How to Be a Boss, actually talked about that. And that, like, you know, that, like, oh, she says in there, she has this exercise, and she says, touch your nose with your right finger. And she's like, no, stop and touch your nose with your right finger. So I did it, right? And then she's like, what you just told yourself is that you can tell your mind what to do, that your mind doesn't have control over you. And she was like, so if you're having negative thoughts, or you're having jealous thoughts, or trust issues, or fear, or whatever, you can work through it, because all you have to do is tell your mind to work through it. Very much like The Shining. Remember when he would close his eyes and be like, this isn't real, this isn't real. And that's what I did the other day. I just kind of was like, you're gonna have a wonderful day with your husband. Go. Stop being afraid. I bought a cute shirt and I had a great time, you know? And so I'm so thankful, and like the more I work through that, the better I feel. But man, social anxiety is a bitch, and anybody out there that doesn't believe it's real, come live in my skin for a while. It keeps you from doing a lot of things. I remember years ago, my friend Paul said to me, why don't you ever come to anything that I invite you to anymore? I mean, this isn't just about Alex, this is my friends too. He goes, why don't you ever come to anything that I invite you to anymore? And I said, I've gained so much weight, and he looked at me and he goes, do you think I care if you're fat or thin? And he was like, Peter, I love you, you're my friend. He's like, I just want you there. And it was so hard for me because, like, I couldn't tell him how I feel inside, like, that how much that meant to me to hear. But it was like, so, it's like still so hard, you know? It's like Melissa does all this dog stuff, and then the last thing that she invited us to is like this silent auction and like this like whole day. I think, I vlogged it on here, and I had such a great time at it, but just to get worked up to even go to it terrified me, you know? But I'm glad I went, you know? And I had a good time. So it's just about working through those things. Do you guys relate to that at all? Do any of you out there have this kind of social anxiety that terrifies you, and it's just easier to stay in bed and eat ice cream than to go do anything? Even when you know you're going to lose a relationship or lose a friendship or miss out on an opportunity, because that has happened to me in the past, you know? Alex has been very patient with it. I'm making it sound like I'm like the problem with our marriage. Psh, let me tell you something. There's never any just one person to blame in a relationship. I mean, both of us have huge things to work on, you know? But I woke up yesterday in bed, and I had to get up for this recovery thing, right? And my alarm kept on going off, and I just snoozed it, and I like turned over, and I woke up, and he was like staring at me, and he had his hand on my cheek like this, and he was like, babe, you gotta get up. I was like, I don't want to. And he was just looking at me and he goes, I love you. And that's what marriage is about, I think, you know? And then I left and he went back to sleep. Now that's what marriage is really about. But I adore my husband. He's something special. So anyway, that's about it for the night. I'm gonna listen to my audiobook. I'm listening to Angie Thomas's The Hate You Give. Oh my God, it's so good. I can't even tell you how good it is. Go get The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. It is so good. So good. Anyway, and it is a must-read book of 2017 so far, so. All right, you guys, I love you. Take some huge risk today, because you know what? We're on borrowed time as it is. Talk to you later. Bye.